Thank you for teaching our Hevruta. This week's Torah portion is Beshalach. It's on pages 42 to 44 in the Our Hevruta booklet. And the Torah portion talks about right after the Israelites are freed from Egypt and Pharaoh changes his mind and chases them. So the Israelites now find themselves caught between the Sea of Reeds, and none of them know how to swim. Maybe they've never even seen the sea, and the army on the other side, so they don't know what to do. And there's a wonderful midrash that's written about, a legend under the Gems of Torah, which talks about how everyone was afraid, except there was one courageous man from the tribe of Judah named Nachshon ben Aminadav, and he took the first steps into the sea, and the waters didn't part. And he kept walking and singing until the waters actually reached his nose, and then the sea parted. So Nachshon is a great thing to talk about with the kids. Talk about what are the great seas that we need to confront? What are our fears that we need to confront? And what does it mean when we're journeying from here to there? Where's the there that we're trying to get to? When is it that we have to rely on faith to get through? And when is it that we rely on our own courage to persevere? So who among us is a Nachshon who takes the courage to take that first step? And when is it actually wise to not take the first step and actually to be cautious and self-protective? So we have the story of Nachshon, and then we have the splitting of the sea, that great miracle. The rabbis say, and we have some of it written here, that even a servant, even if you were pregnant, the embryo inside of you was more privileged to be at the Sea of Reeds and seeing God's miracle there than any of the prophets, was a greater witness to God at the Sea of Reeds, even unborn, than any of the prophets were. They talk about how the daughters of Israel passing through the sea, when they were holding their children became hungry, they could pluck a fruit or an apple or a pomegranate out from the sea and feed it to them. So it really speaks to the rabbinic imagination. What did the children imagine was there at the bottom of the sea? You know, did they see dolphins? Did they see wonderful luminescent sea creatures in the walls of water on either side? It's an opportunity to be creative. Moses and the children of Israel sing a song. That's the Mi Chamocha song that we sing every week in services. And also, after they come through the sea, it's interesting, the Israelites start to complain right away because they're thirsty and hungry. So even though you witness a miracle, you know, you could say, this was the best day of my life, you still get complaining and kvetchy, and, you know, you want to eat and drink. And how long does a miracle last? How long can we be happy before we start complaining about things? More miracles in this portion. Moses strikes a rock and brings water forth for the people who are thirsty. Also causes manna to rain down. They say that the miracle of manna was that it tastes like everybody's perfect food. So you might like pad thai, but somebody else might like ice cream sundaes. So what is it that you would like your manna to taste like? And also, the Israelites eventually took manna for granted because every morning there was this wafer-like miraculous bread that they could eat. And what are the things that we take for granted? The miracles that happen to us every day. You know, we're not aware of our feet until we stub our toe. So what are the things that we're not aware of that perhaps we should once in a while be grateful for? There was also... we talk about Shabbat a little bit, gathering the double manna on Shabbat. Also, God miraculously sweetens the bitter waters in Marah. And it says in one of the Gems of Torah that it wasn't that the waters themselves were bitter, but rather that the Israelites were bitter themselves. They had so much bitterness inside of them that everything they tasted bitter. So how does our mood affect how we experience the world? Might be an interesting thing to talk about. So there are a lot of rich things to discuss in this Torah portion. You can read through the midah, the value of moderation. How do we practice moderation? And also the mitzvahs, feeding the hungry. So thank you for teaching this week, and I look forward to hearing how all of your conversations went.